Hey, herd immunity. Herd immunity is considered done when 70 to 80% of the herd has been infected. That can help isolate inner parts or some parts of the herd, but that number is still the total because we're talking a herd. We're not talking, a specific group of people until they get in that herd, and they are. We're all in this herd. It's a cohort. It's called America, and the number of people living here. So the way this herd immunity works is once 70 to 80% of the population has built an immunity to this, there's the key, an immunity to this, or else it's just going to keep coming through in waves, a little bit different possibly every time. And all that's involved with this is science, natural sciences, and how these things work. So that gives you an idea of what herd immunity is. It is the whole population, and 70 to 80% of it has become exposed and immune to this virus. It's not enough just to be exposed, because if you don't have an immunity, your body did fight off this one, the next one could be overwhelming. The studies are being done, should be being done. They should already have an idea what the tendencies how of these are. Those people, those secret, the professionals that do this for a living out there while the rest of the noise goes on. So that's the goal of herd immunity. That's what Republicans are driving for. The reason the medical community said, hey, wait a minute, don't do this full 100% exposure, was if it happens all at once, the hospitals will be overwhelmed. More people will die because that's how this works. The medical care to help people through this, anything from a nasty cold to pneumonia to low blood oxygen for too long, damaging brain and tissues. So this is what we know can happen from this thing. This is what herd immunity entails, 70 to 80%, give or take, a million people. This is the numbers we're talking about. So the whole idea behind the quarantine and isolation was to slow this monster down so that the hospitals and the emergency response and even the states and the people could learn how we're going to have to deal with this thing, how we should deal with it, what's the best way to do this. All these bozos out running around with guns and flags and what? That isn't this country by far. That is a minuscule part of this nation. And yet here we are, the tail wagging the dog. How's that work?